make sure you tell Mike that there's no holding back. Whatever happens, happens, and this is war. I'm going in there, and now it's a pro fight. It's on my record, and I'm going to fucking put him down. And if people are pissed about it, then watch.
Make sure you tell Mike that there's no holding back. Whatever happens, happens. And this is war. I'm going in there. And now it's a pro fight. It's on my record. And I'm going to put him down. And if people are pissed about it, then watch soccer. Jake Paul has brutally warned Mike Tyson, revealing his savage plans for their upcoming fight. Meanwhile, opinions are sharply split over the impending clash, while many confidently predict that Tyson will make quick work of Paul. ISM lingers due to Tyson's age, yet from an insider's perspective, who could provide better insight than someone who has previously coached Tyson. Meet none other than Ronnie Shields. Remember him? The mastermind behind Iron Mike's training for the epic Lennox Lewis bout back in 2002, with the buzz intensifying about the upcoming Showdown fight. Hype managed to snag a moment with this former champ to glean his insights on the impending clash, and trust me, Shields delivered the goods like a seasoned pro. Shields quickly broke down the impending bout. He said, "Well, it can go two ways. Mike knows the sport. He has been in it his whole life, so he knows how to pace himself to go 8 2-minute rounds." Shields turned to Jake Paul in the meanwhile and surmised an abortive attempt based on his prior fights. He said Jake Paul hasn't been in a position yet, especially against a stronger fighter like Mike Tyson. The pressure is going to be more on Jake Paul than Mike Tyson, as the reporter probed Shields for confirmation regarding his prediction of Tyson's victory, particularly envisioning a knockout. Shields responded succinctly with a resounding indeed, yet amidst this anticipation, the question lingers: what verdict do the odds compilers offer for the impending bout? Odds makers have cast their verdict on the eagerly awaited showdown, and it's a choice that might raise a few eyebrows. Despite Tyson's iconic legacy, Paul finds himself as the clear frontrunner, according to odds makers, for their upcoming heavyweight clash. At the tender age of 27, Paul finds himself in the prime of his youth, a factor not lost on the keen eyes of many odds makers. A total of 5 sportsbooks have now unveiled their predictions for the impending clash, and among them DraftKings boldly tips Paul as the frontrunner with odds of -1880. In simpler terms, those backing Paul would have to stake $180 to secure a $100 win should he emerge victorious. On the other hand, Tyson is rated as a plus 135 underdog, meaning that if Tyson wins, gamblers would win $135 for every $100 wagered. DraftKings oddsmaker Johnny Ello told USA Today, "It's all about age. Who steps in the ring? At 57 years old, we realize people are going to say Mike Tyson, the great Mike Tyson, is an underdog in this against Jake Paul. And they probably are going to bet the underdog. But we're okay with that." Although Tyson made a notable return to the boxing ring in 2020 for an 8-round exhibition match with Roy Jones Jr., resulting in a draw, his professional boxing career has been dormant since 2005. On June 11th of that year, Tyson's final professional bout concluded when he declined to continue into the 7th round against Kevin McBride. Ello said, "So as odds makers, we have to look at who actually is fighting these days. And that would be Paul. He has some skills. I'm sure he's not going to just stand there and let Tyson just beat the crap out of him." Meanwhile, in a recent Instagram post by Jake Paul, he shared footage of Mike Tyson's latest training session, while adding his own twist of humor to the mix. As Tyson worked vigorously with the pads, Jake joined in, albeit at a slower pace and with a comically lackadaisical effort. This unmistakably appears to be a blunt ridicule aimed at a seasoned veteran who has clearly surpassed the prime of his career. While Tyson still exudes the aura of being able to effortlessly defeat any ordinary civilian, his advancing age inevitably raises doubts doubts about his prospects against seasoned boxers, the crux of the matter lies in the uncertainty among Tyson's supporters regarding whether they perceive Jake as belonging to the league of seasoned boxers capable of triumphing over Mike. It's no secret that Jake has carved out a niche as one of the internet's premier provocators, honing his craft over nearly 20 years. From his humble beginnings on YouTube, few could have predicted his evolution into a semi-professional boxer, poised to take on one of the most formidable opponents in the world. Yet here we stand eagerly anticipating the clash between these two titans within the squared circle. Despite pleas from his supporters, Mike Tyson's fans are imploring the ex-heavyweight champion not to hold back against the upstart boxer, fueled by clips such as the recently shared one. Boxing enthusiasts unanimously agree that it's high time for Tyson to school Jake Paul in the ring. For instance, this fan said, "I really want to see Mike bite Jake's both ears off." Talking about Jake, this fan said if he wins next, he might challenge 70-year-old Sylvester Stallone. And this fan said if Mike mistakenly goes out of the script, Jake's soul is going to fly from his body. As you can see, opinions on Jake Paul's antics span a wide spectrum, ranging from those who interpret his actions as a disrespectful guest towards older individuals to others who perceive no mockery at all. However, within the boxing community, there is a prevailing sense of discontent with Paul's recent behavior. Many enthusiasts are expressing their desire for Mike to adopt a more aggressive approach, with some even advocating for extreme measures like biting Jake Paul's ear. However, before his battle with Jake Paul, astute boxing fans have identified an issue with Mike Tyson's most recent training video. Despite Tyson's release of numerous training videos flaunting his enduring speed and power, keen observers note that these displays are fleeting, lasting mere seconds. "There's a reason this is just 6 seconds long," one said about Tyson's latest video, in which he asked Paul if he was ready or not. Another social media user said better get him in 3 rounds or less, and 2 other fans suspected there was some editing and craft camera work going on, also with multiple clips spliced together, said one, while the other added, "True. But my hope is it takes around 12 seconds at most." Tyson himself has admitted to being bedbound for a week after filming a previous training session. Speaking to Tyson podcast host Joe Rogan said, "When I was watching you hit the pads, I was thinking this isn't just working out, there was something going on, man. When you were working out with Cordo and you were ripping into the body and throwing those hooks, I was like, this is a man who is preparing to go to combat. That's why when I saw the video, I was like." Tyson jumped in to say, "You want me to tell you something about that video? I did that video, and I was in bed for a week. That was 30 seconds. And I was in bed for a week. And it's not funny because it made me realize this is big boy." But some fans have been impressed with Tyson's training footage, with one saying, "Absolutely legend. Iron Mike shows the world that men can be super fit at 57 years old. Respect." Another added, "I hope Iron Mike doesn't knock him out in 20 seconds or less. Keep him around for a bit, pound him good. I have a feeling Jake is going to try and prove a point, and Iron Mike is going to respond, and it is over in 20 seconds." An often cited point of contention against this matchup revolves around the significant age gap between the contenders. Jake Paul, currently at the peak of his physical prowess, faces off against the formidable Mike Tyson, who, despite maintaining impressive fitness, is approaching his 60th year. The disparity in age cannot be overlooked, inevitably influencing perceptions of the bout. However, according to MMA commentator Cha Sonnen, the contest may not be as lopsided as commonly assumed. One of the things that most inspires Cha Sonnen to take this fight seriously is the possibility that he could lose to a YouTuber. However, Sonnen believes that if Jake loses to a 60-year-old, this might be the end of his career. Sonnen stated during his YouTube show that Jake was considered a slight favorite over Mike, who was greatly experienced and oversized. He remarked that Mike did not want to lose, and Jake could not afford to lose either Jack Paul's slight favor over greatly experienced and oversized Mike Tyson. Mike does not want to lose. Jake cannot lose Sonnen, noted that Mike's reputation and other related factors would undergo a significant change if he lost. Additionally, he mentioned that Jake's career would come to a halt in terms of its trajectory toward Canelo. Overall, Sonnen described the situation as very fascinating. Mike's reputation, everything so on and so forth is going to change. Jake's career comes to a screeching halt, at least in terms of his trajectory where he's trying to get to Canelo. It comes to a halt. It's a very fascinating situation in the swirling vortex of sports discussions. The clash between a Mike Tyson triumph and a Jake Paul victory stands as one of the most contentious debates. The outcome remains veiled in uncertainty until the moment both pugilists grace the ring with their presence, despite murmurs of Jake hanging up his gloves should he succumb to Tyson's prowess. The allure of lucrative earnings from such spectacles may sway his decision, irrespective of the bout's result. While Tyson commands a towering presence, both physically and experientially, Paul places his chips on the table of fitness, youthfulness, and a commendable 9-1 boxing record. Meanwhile, Randy Couture, the ex-UFC heavyweight and light heavyweight title holder, acknowledged that the showdown between Paul and Tyson serves as a barometer for boxing's